Exercise 6. Trip to Stonehenge. Listen to the conversation and fill in the missing information in the notes below. Hi, Sue. How was your weekend?
Oh, really good. I went to Stonehenge with my host family.
Stonehenge?
Yes, that's right. Have you ever been there?
Yes, I went there last month. I really enjoyed it.
Me too. Stonehenge is the best known and probably the most remarkable of prehistoric remains in the UK.
Yes, it has stood on Salisbury Plain for about 4,000 years. You know, there have been many different theories about its original use.
Yes, I know. My host father told me that one of the theories is that it was a place from where stars and planets could be observed.
Yes, but no one is really certain why it was built. One of the things people have discovered is the positions of some of the stones relate to the movements of the sun and moon, so that the stones could be used as a calendar.
That's interesting.
Did you go to Oxford too? It's not far from Stonehenge.
No, we didn't because of the time. My host family had to be back before 3 in the afternoon.
Oh, what a pity. You should go sometime. It's very interesting too.
Yes, I hope I can sometime.
Exercise 7. Marriage. Sue Mi and Steve are talking about marriage in America and in Korea. Listen to the conversation and fill in the missing information in the notes below.
Hello, Steve. Have you read this article?
Not yet. What is in it?
There are some facts about families in the United States. It says that 50% of marriages end in divorce in the United States.
That's quite high, isn't it? Do many people get divorced in Korea?
No, most Korean couples stay together.
Families are sure different in America.
Well, there are more divorces, but what else is different?
Well, I think people get married younger.
How much younger?
Oh, I think some people get married before the age of 20.
Really? What else?
A lot of women work after they get married. And I think most women who have babies go back to work fairly soon, too.
Yes, according to the survey, 50% of American working women return to work within a year of having a baby.
Do women in Korea usually work after they get married?
No, a lot of women stay at home and take care of their families, but a few work.
I see. Here are some more figures. It says 67% of women with children work, and 57% of children under 6 have 2 parents who work or a single parent who works. Exercise 8. University Campus. Look at the map of the university campus. You will hear 5 sets of directions to a certain place. As you listen, follow the directions carefully. Then write the letters next to the names of the places below. Conversation 1. Susan is a new student. She goes to the university to register.
Excuse me, can you help me? I'm looking for the registration office.
Maybe I can. I think it's in the administration building. Are you a new student?
Yes, I am.
Well, look, here is the map of the campus. We're at the entrance now. The building we face is the Students' Union. The building on our left is the administration building.
Thank you.
With pleasure. Conversation 2. Susan comes out of the administration building and wants to buy some course books.
Excuse me, I'm a new student here. I'm looking for the bookstore. Do you know where it is?
The bookstore? Let me see. We are at the administration building. Do you see the gymnasium there? The one facing us on the left?
Yes. Is it the tall, white building over there?
Right. The bookstore is behind the gymnasium, between the cinema and the bank.
I see. Thank you very much.
You are welcome. Conversation 3. Susan comes out of the bookstore and she plans to go to the tennis club.
Excuse me, could you tell me where the tennis club is?
Tennis club? I think it is in the sports center. When you go to the sports center, you will find a swimming pool. The tennis club is opposite it and next to the playground. You can't miss it.
Thanks a lot.
Conversation 4. Excuse me, I'm looking for the computer center. Could you tell me where it is?
The computer center. Yes, it's next to the library, opposite the recreation center.
Next to the library, opposite the recreation center.
Yes, that's right.
Thank you very much. Conversation 5.
Excuse me, could you tell me where the cafeteria is?
Oh, cafeteria? I think there is one in the recreation center.
Recreation center?
Yes. When you come to the recreation center, you will see 3 buildings there. The middle one has a cafeteria. You can see a big signpost there. You can't miss it.
Thank you very much.
Exercise 9. Music in New Orleans. Listen to the conversation and fill in the missing information in the notes below.
Hi, Mike. Do you like jazz?
Yes, very much. And I like to dance to jazz too.
Do you know who first started to play jazz?
Yes, of course. The African Americans.
Do you know when and where?
Yes. Around 1900, people from many countries lived in New Orleans. Music was an important part of life in this city. Musicians in New Orleans started to play a new kind of music. It was called jazz. Jazz was a kind of music intended to make people happy.
I know jazz is kind of a mixture of many different kinds of music. For example, African, blues, European, church music, and work songs. Most early jazz musicians were African American. They played in small bands and they didn't write down their music.
Yes, they learned to work together to produce a loose and relaxed beat that is so powerful that listeners cannot help but dance, or at least move their feet along with it. And soon, white musicians were playing jazz too.
I know black and white musicians seldom played together in the United States at that time.
You are right. Around 1920, jazz music began to spread. Jazz musicians moved from city to city. People listened to jazz records. They heard jazz on the radio. In the 1930s and 1940s, jazz was popular in the US and Canada. The music was called swing. It was played by big bands.
It was said there are still a few bands made up of very old musicians playing the old-style jazz in a club in New Orleans. They play jazz for 4.5 hours each evening, so many tourists go there and listen.
Can the audience make some special requests for the songs?
Yes, if the musicians are willing to play them, people pay a little money for the request. Traditional songs cost $1 and all others cost $2.
That's interesting. I'd like to visit the city sometime in the future. Exercise 10. Talking to a landlady. Mrs. Tiger's new lodger is asking what he is allowed to do. Listen to the conversation and make a cross if it is not allowed and fill in the table. Good afternoon. I'm Sam. I phoned yesterday about the room. Is it still available?
Yes, come in, please.
The room is very nice and big. Do you mind if I put some posters on the walls?
No, I don't mind, but don't use sellotape to stick them up. It brings off the paint when you remove it.
What about smoking? Is it all right if my friends and I smoke?
No, I'm afraid I don't allow smoking anywhere in the house.
I see. Can I use the kitchen if I want to cook something?
Yes, but only before 7 o'clock in the evenings, not after 7 o'clock.
I'm very fond of animals, and I'm thinking of getting a dog.
Under no circumstances do I want any pets here. I don't like animals.
Well, you said I could use your television in the evenings, is that right?
Yes, on condition that you don't have it on after midnight. We don't want to disturb the neighbors.
Can I have my friend around in the evenings?
Yes, that's okay, but we don't want any big noisy parties, though, so only 2 or 3 friends at the same time, please.
Can I have a bath at any time?
Yes, except between 6 and 7 in the evening. I get home from work then, and I always like to have a shower before I have my evening meal.